play a greater role.
That concludes questions for oral answer. Would some honourable member care to move that the House take note of miscellaneous business? Honourable Chris Tremaine.
Speaker, the National-led government, Mr Speaker, is on a mission to lift jobs and lift economic growth, Mr Speaker. And today we saw the Minister of Economic Development roll out a new initiative, the sixth tranche of our business growth agenda, lifting capital markets in this country. Mr Speaker, long ago did we hear the opposition stop calling out for a plan in this economy, because there is a clear plan on this side of the House, delivered today with that sixth tranche, the capital markets growth. That is a great initiative, our sixth tranche of that wider growth package. And what we've seen as part of that is, again today, the $60 million initiative from the New Zealand Venture Investment Fund, and another initiative which is part of that capital markets growth agenda. And with that particular lift, it will really help to fund new initiatives in this country. Raising the level of venture capital investment into innovative companies is going to be a huge focus going forward. We've seen investment from that NZVIF into $117 million into 126 companies, including Orion Health, SLI Systems, Power by Proxy, BookTrack, amongst a number of other amazingly innovative companies. And what do we see on the other side of the House, Mr Speaker, as we drive out this plan to lift growth and to lift wages? We see a yawning gap moving further and further apart from both Labor and the Greens, as they oppose every initiative that we bring into the House to lift jobs and growth. Every initiative, Mr Speaker. And today, in questions time, we saw a great example of that, where Russell Norman once again opposing the film industry in this country and its opportunity for green growth. You'd think that with the film industry, they'd be behind it, Mr Speaker, but no, are against that industry, against the growth that it's bringing. They're against tax changes, Mr Speaker, tax changes that drive incentives for companies to invest. They're against major roading projects that would increase the efficiency of our economy. They oppose free trade agreements, the US free trade agreement, which could bring up to another $2 billion per annum to our economy. They're against RMA changes, Mr Speaker. They're against the 90-day employment trials. They're against work expectations for beneficiaries. Go figure. No end. They don't expect that beneficiaries should have to get out there and work. And they're against oil and gas exploration, Mr Speaker. But to cap it off, the most amazing thing that the Green Party are against were the Callaghan Institute in New Zealand. No, I don't believe they are against a high-growth institute aimed at lifting manufacturers, high-end manufacturers in this country. But where I want to really focus today, Mr Speaker, is an example of a detailed example of where the Greens are opposed to just about everything in this country. And they came into the House last week criticising the Hawke's Bay Regional Council for its opportunity to lift growth in the province of Hawke's Bay, to lift jobs and economic growth. And here was a project that is also good for the environment, helping to move water from the aquifers to the dam, therefore increasing the flow in the Tukituki River. To me, Mr Speaker, that's a win-win. That's a green growth project which is bringing growth to the economy, 26,000 additional hectares of irrigated land, 250 to 300 million more in exports, and wins for the environment. Yet they're against it. And they're against it because they felt that the Hawke's Bay Regional Council, its debt was going to go through the roof from 15 to 90 million. Well, they can't even read a balance sheet, Mr Speaker, because at the same time as the debt was increasing, equity was going up, assets were going up. It was a massive win for the economy. So, Mr Speaker, I want to talk about that, because on the one side of the coin, they want jobs and growth, and on the other side of the coin, they're saying, oh, it can only be green growth. Well, actually, our economy is dependent on our primary industries. That's where the first dollars in our economy are created day in, day out. You're only going to be able to get green growth at the high-tech end if you've got a good, strong primary economy. And actually, the primary economy, Mr Speaker, is exhibiting great examples of green growth all the time. Excellent example. They have some wonderful examples of what they're doing there. Take, for example, the dairy industry, who came out last week with another initiative to improve their environmental footprint. What do those guys do? Oppose it. That industry is trying to lift its growth. They're trying to oppose it. Secondly, they are against it. The second thing that they were so against dairy farmers, everything that we go against, they're opposing. Huh?
Denise Roach.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the last week or so, the difference between the